Hello guys, Survivor here. Welcome back to another review. Yes, I am doing reviews. Yeah. Okay, yes, I know. Batman was the last one. Yes, from the looks of the uploads, you were like, is this dude even gonna do reviews again? Was that just a one-time thing? No, not really. Okay, it's not gonna turn into like a once thing. No. No, I want to get back into reviews and. If I remember, because I remember saying in my Batman review, I was gonna record my Mass Effect 1 review afterwards. And the thing is, the same thing with my Batman Telltale series Season 1 review, I had to re-record that because I just felt like I was going a bit all over the place a bit, kind of maybe spoiling maybe a bit. So I was like, I'll just re-record in a more of a staple way. And same thing went, and I had kind of the same problem with my Super Hot review, which I'm going to be reviewing that, and my Mass Effect 2 review, which I was going to go to, and also this review. So I'm going to record my review because I was like, I need to do this in a proper way. And so, yeah, I want to do this in more of a proper way, and let's get it. So we are basically starting off with, Mass Effect. Like what is Mass Effect? What is this world? Well, so we are in. So basically, Mass Effect takes place years into the future, into where we have discovered a galaxy beyond the Milky Way, a galaxy. Our galaxy is actually within another galaxy, and it's like with all these aliens, like Asari, Krogan, Turians, Solarians, all these fucking races, and like many more races, especially a couple more that do show up a bit later in the series, and it's just, oh man. And you're just really intrigued. And the thing is, there is an in-game codex, and this was made in 2007, where there was this war that happened. Like, oh shit, what? Oh, this happened with the Krogan. Oh shit, like all this lore, all in a 2007 game codex. How? Yeah. So yeah, Mass Effect 1 starts off very strong because we're in the future, and the thing is, us humans, we are actually still kind of new to the galaxy, even after fighting a war with one of the major races in that galaxy, like some years, like some years, right? Like a few decades, and still it was still like but you still learn more about like a lot of stuff, and I really enjoyed that. It's what makes Mass Effect, all this lore, everything. It's what makes Mass Effect so fucking interesting. But let's get into the main story. And we start out the story with creating our main character, Commander Shepard, who could be male or female, and you can actually create that character and like make it like maybe like an older version of you or something like that, like kind of like how I did. Like if you guys look at me, like compare me to the Shepard that I made in Mass Effect 1, compare my Shepard to me, you can kind of see that he looks a bit like an older version of me. I'm not fucking shitting you. He kind of does with that face. Like he just does. If y'all really can't see it, then it's just my imagination. I just pull out my ass. Anyway, you can also choose like your own little backstory, like where you come, were you a colonist, were you Earthborn, and also like what basically made you the commander that you are. Like what did they like what did you do to have like someone taking notice of you right in the intro of the game. Which does affect the dialogue, and actually those missions and your bad backstory choices, they actually do take an effect in the game and actually make into actual missions. like just a few of them, plus some dialogue options depending on what you chose to start up your character. Which again, I'm so fucking mad that we don't have more games like that, sucker. And but then you start off like that, and you start off with your commander, and the thing is, you and your crew that's being shipped by his captain, and Captain Anderson, who's actually a bit of a a bit of a reprising character throughout the series. He's a more of a recurring character, and he's really cool. I really like Anderson, even though he doesn't show up all that much throughout the series. He's still a really cool dude, and I really thought that he got like I feel like he got like a lot more spotlight in Mass Effect 1. I think more than Mass Effect 3. You can argue that, but then again, Anderson, he's just an awesome dude when you actually get to know him and shit. But yeah, you and your crew are actually being sent on this expedition mission, and you find out like this whole freaking force that has been known to go beyond the veil, called the Geth, who are actually being led by a rogue Spectre named Saren. Now, Spectres are actually people that actually keep an order, that are actually above the law, and they're actually Spectres are actually the council's main force to say. Like when Spectres go, shit's about to go down. And also about the council, again, they're actually on this place called the Citadel, which is like a major place in it's hard to describe as the Citadel. I'm not fucking lying, really. I mean, it's like the main course of like the Citadel space, whatever you call it in the series. But yeah, there's a council, and their main force is the Spectres, and one of their agents, Saren, went rogue on that mission, and like you find out about that and shit. And it does take a bit to actually get it to that, but it's not like a boring start where you have to like oh my god, like when is it gonna start? Like, boy, like how am I gonna find this guy? This just feel no, it ain't like that. Yeah, you actually have to do something really relevant to actually go after him, which is a pretty neat move for a good start. But yeah, like after that mission, like shit hits the fan. This beacon explodes. You're supposed to extract, and you have like these visions and shit. Like all these visions are like just like, boy, you're like figuring out, like trying to figure out like what's going on yourself. Like I love that. I love that so much. I love that aspect about Mass Effect because there's always a sense of mystery in these games, and I love that sense of mystery. And Mass Effect 1 does it the best. But yeah, after all that with the beacon and all that shit on this one planet that just gets fucked up because it's a human colony and shit, and you gather up your crew and go after this rogue Spectre and find out what he's really after and why. I really don't want to spoil anything because Saren, who is just a fantastic villain in my personal opinion. He's a really cool character. I really love Saren. He's actually one of my favorite video game villains of all time, possibly one of my favorite villains in all of fiction in general. I really want to talk about Saren, but I just can't because once you see his perspective of things much later in the game, you can understand where he's coming from. Again, I love villains like that where there really isn't like a black and white scenario. There are shades of gray where like everybody has their own motives, and they're completely understandable. They may be actually. Now, the actions that this dude and other villains take in these type of games, in stories in general, you're like, was it really necessary to kill all these people and do all this shit? But again, once you go through the game and see Saren's perspective, you can really understand where this guy's coming from, and you can kind of understand, holy shit. I might actually agree with his thing right there, because it could actually work. Because he's just trying to do what, like, the only solution that he thinks he's doing, just right, I love villains like that. I just love it so much. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you will see his perspective, and just you guys understand if you haven't played Mass Effect 1. Okay, there are 3 required squad mates throughout the entire game. The other 3 that maxes out to 6 are actually completely optional because of what you want to do. It's the same thing with Dragon Age. Because how in Dragon Age Origins you can actually dismiss this character and go through the entire game with just without like any of these certain characters. Yeah, you can do that in Mass Effect, which came out before Dragon Age Origins did. But I thought Dragon Age Origins was a bit more immersive, as there was like so many characters you could get, and especially the dog. Anyway, back to Mass Effect. There are actually 3 required squad mates, and two of the squad mates are actually from the very first mission, the very first intro prologue mission of the game, and one is actually a required character in the game, regardless like which mission you kind of go, because by the time you try to go there's actually 3 choices you can make, or 3 places you can go. Depending on where you go, though, could actually affect your dialogue depending on what you do and where you go first. Again, I love games like that. Again, choices that kind of matter to an extent, and that's what Mass Effect does excel. Y'all probably like, dude, get to the choices already, because we love the story, we love you describing everything in full review fashion, but get to the choices. Mass Effect is full of choices that will have somewhat of an effect on your game. Again, that's why the game is called Mass Effect, because the effect in the title basically means that your choices, for the most part, are going to have somewhat of an impact, some form, in some shape or form, and you will find out those outcomes, especially one like much later on a major mission. I'm talking about much later. You guys that will actually change your experience for the rest of the games because of this one character. I'm not kidding. You guys just have to go to that mission. It's bruh. Because that choice was hard to make, especially for a time like in 2007. But anyway, Mass Effect just does a good job with the choices. Like you cannot deny that the amount of work that BioWare did at the time when they did this game. It is mind-bogglingly awesome in every way possible. If I want to talk more about the gameplay, then I would say that it's like a Gears of War freaking levels of gameplay. Now, when it comes to the combat, but when you're not in combat, you're just kind of walking around and shit, just like literally, this is how you do runs, like a walk, like kind of walk sometimes, like kind of jogs. Like I'm not joking, like it's kind of it's seriously like that when shit's just normal. And now your character does haul ass, but it's like for a short period. It's like very brief. It's just when shit's going down, like it makes sense for 2007. Not gonna lie, okay? Because this came out literally like a decade ago. So do not blame BioWare for that shit. Mass Effect 1. When it comes to the story and the characters, just really interesting. Now, I'm going to be going over the 6 squad mates that you do end up with throughout the game. I'm going to say which ones are the 3 required ones and who are the 3 optional ones. But I will say that each of these characters are great, and I cannot wait. And if you guys thought that these characters were good at this point in the series, boy, you gotta play Mass Effect 2 and 3 to know more. But it really all depends on your choices, because again, Mass Effect, your choices affect your story. Just saying, okay? Not gonna spoil. Now, the first squad mate you do end up with that does stick out throughout the entire game, again, depending on all your choices, Caden Alenko. He's a human, but also a biotic, which mostly Asaris use. And you think that, okay, a human biotic, that sounds pretty badass, right? Yeah, he's actually quite useful on the battlefield, and he's also a really cool guy to talk to. Because again, every character is actually really interesting. You find out something new and interesting about you, and when you find out about this one certain point, you're like, damn, just damn, that's intriguing, interesting. Like, dude, you just can't help but applaud for that freaking moment, for that character when you go and talk to him, because you have to talk to these characters to a certain amount of times to actually get to know them more and all that good stuff, because these characters are just really interesting in their own right. And this, again, 2007. Caden Alenko is a really cool character. Now he's not gonna lie, I was really interested in him at first, but when I got to know him a bit more, I was like, man. But I do think there are characters kind of better than others. That's just me, though, because I have my own personal favorites, to be honest with you. Every other squad mate in this game, every other character do have like their own reasons and have their own little quirks to them to an extent. Like some of them. The other one is Ashley Williams, the one that you meet in the prologue mission. She's like this tough army girl that has like a huge she has a huge legacy to live up to. Again, go talk to her more. You actually get to know her more about like her family, who like the military runs in her blood. She's that type of character, and I really liked Ashley for that. She's a really cool character. Yeah, I really enjoyed her. I can see why people went and romanced her in the first game. And yes, guys, romance. I know you guys are thinking, oh my god, get to the romance. But there's really nothing to say about the romance options, because there's actually 3 options you can actually do. And all 3 of them are the 3 required ones. Like in all 3 of the squad mates that you can romance are the ones that are actually required in the game. I'm not shitting you. Next up is Liara T'Soni, personally my favorite girl in the entire series, right next to Tali, who I'm going to get to next. Liara, when you first meet up with her, you're kind of like, you're the daughter of this one girl that's actually helping out this guy. Like, what's your deal? You're kind of suspicious because she is the daughter of this one character. You're kind of like suspicious about, so you're like, okay, but when you do talk to her more, and this is probably like, and I'm probably not the only one, but the more I talked to Liara, the more I got attached to her. And when I brought her onto that 1-minute mission, when there was like a lot of dialogue with her, if you brought her with you on that certain mission, I'm like, bruh, I feel so bad, but this is important to her character. I had to do this. Just to see her thoughts and everything. And even though there really wasn't a lot that was actually put into it, it was still emotional and good enough that it's really exceptional. You guys will know what I'm talking about. Again, Liara, I really like her a lot. She's like this scientist that uses biotics and shit, because again, every story apparently uses biotics. And she like really, she's a scientist that's trying to help out what's going on with your visions and stuff for the most part. That's kind of really it though, but she's still a really good character, and I really love talking to her more, because she's a really really cool girl. I really liked Liara so much. I romanced her. I really did. I'm not gonna lie about that, and I have no shame in that and no regrets. That's how attached I could get to a character when you go and through all the talks with Liara and shit. All the other and the other 3 squad mates. Tali is probably the most interesting character I've seen in Mass Effect at the time, because I was so interested about this character, and I was so mad that they didn't include a romance option with her at the time. I was like, are you shitting me? She's literally the most interesting character in this game for me, because I want to know more about her race. I want to know more about the guests that she's really interested in. That's kind of the reason why she's on this mission, and stuff. Like I'm like, bruh, I really love Tali in this game. I was really so interested. Yes, I get it. I know what y'all are thinking, but yeah, about Tali, like she really isn't that important to the story though. But she's still a really, really cool squad mate. I really loved my conversations with her. She's just awesome. And when you all get into Mass Effect 2 and 3, she's way better than she is in Mass Effect 1, and that's saying a lot. Next up is Garrus Vakarian. This dude is an ex-cop from C-Sec on the Citadel, and this dude he just wants to do things his own way. He wanted to be a Spectre, and just like he kind of wants to be a Spectre in a way, and because of the way he wants to do things, because of his point of view of things. He's a really cool guy. His conversations are pretty good. You can actually see like what he really thinks. You do agree to him to an extent, because sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do in order to make sure shit is all good and stuff. And you can't really argue with that, because sometimes you're gonna have to make choices to make things better. You know, these kind of choices. I really like Garrus's point of view of things, because he would more likely take the renegade route for the most part anyway. I'm just saying, because there was a Paragon and Renegade route throughout the game. Then, like, yeah, Garrus, like, he was really cool in this, though, but once you get to, like I said with Tali, once you get to Mass Effect 2 and then Mass Effect 3, Garrus is like, just, I'm freaking bros with them, dude. Like, you guys. And then lastly, it is Urdnot Wrex. He is the Krogan of the group, and this dude is a mercenary, and he is pretty interesting, and I really liked his little mission you could optionally go to, and he will trust you more. I really liked Wrex though, because I thought his experiences as a mercenary in the backstory to the reason why he left his race, like every other Krogan would, like his own reasoning. I loved that part of him. I loved that, because he wanted to do something, but he was just kind of forced to. Like, again, I cannot spoil this, because again, this shit is interesting. But all I'm saying here is that Urdnot Wrex is a badass character, and even though he does have a badass spot, and he does have some rough edges, he's still a really cool guy, and yeah, you will see his point of view of things, and you will wish that you want to join him with this one point of view at a later part of the game when you think about it. Well, but then again, like, you're just like, yeah, I gotta do this. I know I've been mostly going on with characters and the story, but that's basically what you need to know about Mass Effect, is the story. Yes, there is gameplay with choices that you have to make, and yes, the choices are a major part of the series. But the thing is, I really want to tell you guys about the characters, the story, and everything, because that's what Mass Effect is. That is the juiciness of the series, and it is what I really was disappointed in Andromeda, because even though I own the game still, I haven't tried to sell it yet, because I haven't even finished it yet, and because I was so disappointed, man. I got so bored, and it's a Mass Effect game. Sorry about that, guys. Like, again, I was that disappointed in Mass Effect Andromeda. It was that disappointing. Just what the fuck happened to that game, man? I shouldn't get bored in a Mass Effect game. But yeah, Mass Effect 1, though, was an amazing game. I would definitely give it a final score of a 10 out of 10, because it does what it does best. Now, I'm not saying it's a flawless game. If I'm going to give it some negatives, I'm going to have to say the Mako sections where you go and land on planets, and throughout the game, in each of the required levels throughout the game, you have to go into the Mako at least once throughout any of the major planet levels you have to go through to progress through the story. It feels like really wonky, and just like if you press the wrong button, you can fall off and die. Like if you're like in the middle of a fight or something, especially if you're like on the later like hard difficulties, because you could fuck up, and that's it. Though thankfully, in Andromeda, though, given it credit, they do like do the Mako sections a bit better. Mako type sections, a bit better in Andromeda, though. Just giving that shit credit. But anyway, Mass Effect 1, though, other than like the Mako sections, which were like a bit wonky and kind of took me out of the experience because I died like at least a few times, especially on the Liara search mission, because of the bullshit I had to go through. It was still a fun experience, and I still give it a 10 out of 10 for that reason, because Mass Effect 1 is the shit. I hope you guys enjoy this review of Mass Effect 1. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, comment below what y'all think. And if you're new to the channel, you want to see more, sure to subscribe for more. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see y'all in my Mass Effect 2 review. Oh yeah, we're getting into the meat here, okay? Survivor out.